¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for that tailgate talk. Week 10 in the NFL. Drew Evo and Dave in the 702 coming out with your hot picks for Week 10. Saludos to my co-host all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philly Irish, Drew Evo. ¿Qué pasa?
Home of the third-ranked total defense now in the NFL.
Nice. That's something. Hey, and by the way, I have to give a big shout out to your guy, Saquon Barkley. This is some insanity shit. Look, this play he did the other week, Drew, last weekend, jumping over a Jaguars player. That's bananas. That's incredible right there.
Backwards.
I loved it. Yeah, I love that little spin move he did. And then, of course, leaping over the Jaguars. Ooh, it sucks to be a Jaguars fan right now. Trevor Lawrence might not be playing. And you know what's funny, Drew, is that this week, two of our old callers that used to call our boxing show, Johnny Savage, big time Jaguars fan, and Speech Impediment Man, big time Vikings fan. Well, they're playing each other this weekend. And I thought that they could at least call or show up tonight to talk shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they should really have some kind of wager going on.
I don't think Johnny's in the mood to talk shit anymore.
But his team. You know, they had a good season last year. You know, Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be their saving grace, but everything seems to be falling apart for the Jaguars. The most recent power rankings has them way down, as a lot of teams unexpectedly are way down. But congratulations to the Eagles, Drew. It looks like you guys have an easy one this week. We'll talk about your team, of course. You know, things aren't looking too good for Dallas Cowboys. I'm not sure if they're going to be talking about firing their coach over there. But, of course, Cowboys also have the problem with Dak Prescott being out for the week, right?
He's going to be out multiple weeks.
Season over for the Dallas Cowboy fans?
Oh, I think it is. You don't even know CeeDee Lamb's playing. And, yeah, they'll probably getting Micah Parsons back. But here's the thing. They couldn't stop anybody with him on the field. Like, if you look at it, their team is so badly coached, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Their team is so badly coached. But at the same time, you gotta blame. It all falls on Jerry Jones because he's done nothing to make this team better. And what he does at the deadline, he gets a wide receiver from Carolina nobody really knows about and everything. So everybody looks at him like, dude, Jerry. I don't know what Jerry's planning on doing, but the way that it's looking now, Cowboys are going to be bad for a couple of years. I think like the offensive line's got to be rebuilt. I think the defense is all got to be all built up. And again, like, yeah, you're probably going to have to re-sign Michael. You're going to have to give Michael that big contract in the offseason. But at the cost of that, you're going to be losing DeMarcus Lawrence. Eventually you might have to part with Trayvon Diggs eventually because he does have a big contract still. And you might lose more offensive linemen that will become free agents. And what happens after that? You guys are probably going to be – the Cowboys are probably going to be in rebuild mode and everything because – the cap, yeah, it goes up every year, but when you're paying a guy $60 million a year, and then you got CeeDee Lamb, you're paying about $35 million a year, and then Michael Parsons, he's gonna probably demand at least $30 million a year. So mostly all their cap will be invested into those three players, but you got Trayvon Diggs that's making $12 million a year under his current contract. So it's a bad deal. They're going to have to get him to restructure his contract or release him or trade him.
Drew, I got some big news. I appreciate everybody just joining us in the community right now in the chat. Drop a comment, say hello. Make sure you hit that like button. We just did something epic, and I want to thank my homegirl, Mom Food Planning Things, a big YouTube creator that I follow, and I've been following her journey. She's been rocking her journey alongside us, and I absolutely adore her. And she just dropped it looks like the first super sticker right here on the Shoe Shine. Now, I've got my other screen going on over here, Drew, but it doesn't play the comments because I've got an outdated Safari browser, so I can't add mods. I can't even look at it's a hot mess. But Mom Food, oh my God, thank you so much for being the first, Drew and Evo, and I will always remember that. And I appreciate that. Yeah, big things coming up for our channel, Drew. We got the super chat now. Mom Food is the first. It will not be forgotten at all. Thank you so much. Shout out to Sondale Media joining us. And Drew, we are going to set up memberships, and we're going to have to put together content that's exclusive to memberships. We're going to have to put in even more work, Drew. Going to have to put in more work as content creators.
Yeah, I had to curse a lot more in front of them.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know. I've got to talk to other YouTube creators, but I think that cussing may. Hold up. Paul Martinez back in the chat, Mr. Upset King himself. I think he just pledged something too here, 99 cents. Paul Martinez, thank you so much, and I hope you have some big upsets. Brand new feature. Yeah, finally, Paul. So one of the things I'll tell you guys really quickly, those that follow our channel, is that we hit that 1,000, but we still didn't have the watch hours, which is kind of sad. It means people don't stick around and watch Drew and I long enough. So we well exceeded 1,500 subscribers before all those features now are activated. And Paul, I appreciate you so much for riding with us for all this time. Drew, you want to get right into the picks? Or you have anything you want to add from last week?
Is it me, or are the Washington Commanders becoming last year's Miami Dolphins team? Beating the bad teams, but always losing to the good teams.
And the next two games, we're going to talk about their next two games, Washington Commanders. Of course, I love watching that rookie. And who can forget about that Hail Mary pass just a couple weeks ago? They've got a couple of tough games that are really going to let everybody know whether or not the Washington Commanders are contenders or pretenders. But looking at the power rankings, whoa, they've bolted. They're way up there, Drew. I mean, what are they, 7-2?
They're 7-2.
They've got two tough games coming up. We're going to really find out what they're made of. If Daniels is the real deal. Daniels only has 2 turnovers, which I think he just matched the record. No one's ever had that hot of a start in their first 9 professional games since 1991, I believe. That's pretty insane. That's pretty awesome. So, yeah, shout out to the Commanders for turning their team around by hiring and picking the right franchise quarterback. But like I said, I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do. You say you're comparing them to Miami last year, who was able to put up, 60-plus points?
70 on the Dolphins.
70?
70 on the Broncos.
Right. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Let's move on to our first Thursday night game. It's Wednesday today, Drew. So typically we do this show on Thursdays during Thursday Night Football, but there's a hell of a game tomorrow night, guys. Most likely it's going to be on Amazon Prime or however you can watch it. Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens, Drew. Absolutely spectacular games. You've got Joe Burrow on his last 3 or 4 games on a 3-game win streak, which is insane. He's turning the Bengals around. A team that last year was kind of a real contender, a real serious team. They're getting hot. They're getting hot at exactly the right time. But, of course, Lamar Jackson, power rankings, top 5 team in the NFL. They are favored by 6 points. The over is 53 points. Are these teams going to both put up big numbers tomorrow?
The Ravens pass defense is ranked dead last in the NFL, giving up 280 yards a game, passing. But they're number 1 against the run. But the defense is hard. Their defense is not that good. I'm gonna go Cincinnati Bengals on this.
Wow.
And
yeah, like I said,
I don't know what's the spread.
So Ravens are favored by 6 points, and the over is 53 points.
Give me the Bengals with the money line.
Yeah, Paul M also says with his upset, Drew, he's going to agree with you on the upset. Bengals with the momentum. Lamar Jackson can't simply win them all, but I think he wins this one. I think Joe Burrow they are playing fantastic football. I will not be surprised if both you and Paul are correct on this upset. I think the Baltimore Ravens will cover that spread. But again, I will not be surprised if Joe Burrow and the Bengals are starting to get red hot. It's all about momentum. We're halfway marker. The 49ers are going to be coming off their bye week. It's all about momentum. All right, guys. While Drew handles that, I will talk about Sunday's first game of the week in Germany, of all places. The New York Giants versus the god-awful Carolina Panthers. Who is the worst team amongst these two teams? Pretty sorry teams. Here's a quick fact. The Panthers have not covered a spread in over, how many games did I write this down? They have not covered the spread on any road game in over 10 games. That's pretty easy. Carolina Panthers, obviously not the favored here. New York Giants favored by 6.5 points. In Germany.
Oh, man. I'll take New York with the money line.
I'm going to agree with you, Drew, on this one. New York Giants will take the cake. And if you're interested in watching this game, it looks like it's a 6:30 a.m. start time in the U.S. or whatever, East Coast time, 3:30, probably 3:30 in the morning. Let me just look at my bet slip here. It says, okay, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific. If you're so inclined to be up that early on Sunday morning and want to watch two horrible teams play in Germany, always interesting, Drew. I can only remember earlier at the beginning of the season, there was that game in Brazil where the quarterback, which team was that? The quarterback rolled his ankle so bad he was out for two games at least. Right? Jordan Love, absolutely. Yeah. Some of these soccer fields and whatnot where they're playing at internationally absolutely just don't meet the criteria for the NFL. SC310, glad to have you. He says Packers. Yep, that was Jordan Love that got hurt in that first game. And we're going to get to the next game at 10 a.m. Sunday. Buffalo Bills. Power rankings have them in the top 5. Indianapolis Colts got some serious problems. Drew, I was reading today about the drama surrounding their quarterback situation. You know, they have this rookie kid. I'm not sure if he's a rookie. I forget if Richardson. Anthony Richardson is still a rookie or not. But second-year player. He actually told the coach that he was too tired midway through the game, and they put Flacco in. And of course, Flacco had an absolute disaster of the game. Indianapolis Colts fans have been revolting online, on social media, in the newspapers, telling them, please do not start Flacco. Today, it looks like they're going to start Flacco. I don't know what's going to come Sunday morning, but it's not something you want to hear, that a quarterback tells you that they're tired midway through the game.
Subs himself out.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. But Bills are going to win this. What's the spread?
All right, let's get to the spread. And by the way, people are also attacking the coach, Shane Steichen, or Steichen. They think that he might be the problem. They're not liking it at all, what he's doing with the Colts. And Buffalo Bills are favored by just 4 points, -4. They're gonna score way more than that. I think they easily do 10 points or more.
I do a spread with Buffalo.
All right, we both agree on that. Absolutely. Buffalo, I mean, they're just doing great things. By the way, real interesting thing, Drew. Shout out to anyone in here who's a Dodgers fan. You know, I'm a San Francisco Giants. And for me to say that as a Giants fan, congratulations. That's a big deal. Josh Allen came out the week of the World Series, and I don't have a freaking clue how. But Josh Allen is a hardcore San Francisco Giants fan and apparently has a good relationship with the new general manager, which is our former catcher, Hall of Fame catcher, but soon to be Buster Posey. But imagine that. Josh Allen, a hardcore San Francisco Giant. He said, hell no to the Dodgers. So that came out in the news. Shout out to Josh Allen and all the Bills fans. And shout out to, like I said, again, to all the Dodgers fans, Drew. Pittsburgh Steelers. We was just talking about this. Washington Commanders. Daniels is doing incredible things. They are favored against one of the top defenses in the country. This is a game that I will watch on Sunday morning. I'll be going back and forth, Drew, between my game and this one. But Pittsburgh Steelers, top-rated team. I think they're 6-2, and Commanders are 7-2. Or let me just double check before I give you the wrong thing. Commanders are favored by 3 points. A very, very close game. Tough one to call.
I'm going to take the Steelers with the spread.
Yeah, and we're talking about two teams at the top of their conferences. You know, Steelers are at the very top of their conference, and the Commanders are sitting at 7-2. Unbelievable. Kansas City Chiefs, yeah, they're undefeated. They've only played 8 games. Commanders are 7-2. We're going to really find out what's up when they go toe-to-toe against a top team in the Steelers. Drop it in the chat if you have a favorite. Who are you taking in this game again? Commanders favored by 3.
I'm taking the Steelers with the +3.
Taking the Steelers. I just love what I think Daniels is having a breakout season. The Commanders have completely turned around a horrible team. Just tells you what, if you scout and pick the right guy at the draft, you can just literally turn your entire team dynamic around. The over is 45.5 points. Could this be a high-scoring game?
Nah, I don't think so. I think Pittsburgh's is gonna really keep a leash on this offense.
All right. Paul says Washington. He's agreeing with me on this one, but Pittsburgh Steelers, you're absolutely right about that, Drew. This is a great defense. This could be a very low-scoring game. I would say it's pretty safe to assume under 45 points. That's the way you want to go. I would go with under. Or I'm picking the Commanders to cover the spread. Now, these two teams are a hot mess as well. Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. One of these teams just fired their coach, right?
Yeah, that's the Saints did.
Things are not looking good for either of these teams. Atlanta Falcons favored by 3.5 points. The over is 46, under 46. This is a game I could care less about at 10 a.m., but both of these teams sitting way, way at the bottom of the pack now amongst power rankings. Who's walking away with a victory here?
Atlanta's 6-3.
Who's that?
Atlanta's 6-3.
Excuse me for disparaging the Falcons. I had them confused with somebody else. They are walking away easily with this one. Falcons South are 6-3. Damn. Just goes to show how much I was keeping it on this division, the NFC South. Drew, they're walking all over a busted up New Orleans Saints team.
Yeah.
All right. They're going to cover the spread. We both agree on that one. We're going to be moving on here. We're still at the 10 a.m. games. This one is pretty damn easy to call. Minnesota Vikings. I mentioned my boy Speech. And I have a video coming out, guys. If you guys are into Vegas content, I just went. I'm going to give you guys a clue. This is the best bar food that I have tasted in Las Vegas, and that's saying a lot. And it's actually at a Minnesota Vikings bar in Las Vegas. That's right. The entire joint is for Minnesota Vikings fans. Anybody can go up in there, and it's going to be on my channel premiering, I think, this week. Drew, I feel sorry for the Jaguars. I feel sorry for Jaguars fans that you're in this predicament, but the Vikings are going to run all over you, and yet DraftKings only has Minnesota Vikings a 4-point favorite. Who covers the spread here?
I'm going Minnesota. I'm going to take the spread.
And Paul says he's going with Jacksonville only because it's a rivalry with your friend, the Vikings fan. And Paul, yeah, make sure you watch that video. It's going to be up on my channel probably by the end of the week. If you guys love Vegas content, Vegas restaurants, and bar reviews, that one's coming up on my channel. Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Monday night, we're doing the Shoe Shine, our boxing recap show. And the Chiefs, man, what a dramatic comeback for them to tie. Not the Chiefs. I'm talking about who they played. They could have gotten for 2 extra points, and yet they decided to go into overtime against one of the best at rallies against the Kansas City Chiefs. Why on earth did they decide to go for the field goal? I'm sorry, for that extra point kick and not the extra 2 points.
They
You're
just
going to lose anyways. You're going to lose anyways in overtime. You might as well attempted a trick play. Nobody has beaten. The Buccaneers did a fantastic job of coming back and tying that game. The 49ers did not play that well against the Chiefs at all. And actually in that game, the majority of the Kansas City Chiefs team played rather poorly. And yet with them playing poorly, they ran all over the 49ers. Literally, the quarterback ran over one of our best defensive players. What are we doing here, Drew? Broncos versus Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 7.5 points. Well, they've got to score 8, 9, or 10. You covering the spread?
I don't think they cover the spread.
All right. You like Denver Broncos?
No, I like the Chiefs, but I don't think they cover the spread.
Okay. You think they win this game by 7 or 3 then?
Yeah.
Okay. They still win. But so in that case, you'd go for the Broncos. The over on this is 42 points. They're expecting a rather low. I think the Chiefs are gonna cover the spread. I mean, they've had so many close calls this year, Drew. I feel you that they've had a lot of close calls. But I just don't think much of the Denver Broncos. What about you? Paul M says Broncos, no Swifties. Yeah, I can't root for the Chiefs. But I think they're gonna walk away being 9-0 this weekend, which is just it just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
All right. There is one last. Oh, no, there's actually a bunch more games at 10 a.m. What are you guys going to be watching? Okay, there's still New England Patriots versus Chicago Bears. New England Patriots, do they have some hope with that young quarterback?
I don't know. What the hell is that sound? Oh. I think something fell.
Yeah,
But
the quarterback, May. He's looking like, versus Caleb Williams, he's looking like he might develop into something.
yeah, he could, but he gotta start giving weapons around him.
Exactly. And this was the official end. Yesterday was not only the election, but it was the trade deadline. Drew's going to step away, guys. The trade deadline came and went, and I'm really not happy with the moves the San Francisco 49ers made. I heard a little bit of rumors like a day or two ago that they were aiming for Tyreek Hill at the last minute. Big wide receiver weapon. Of course, the 49ers have a lot of weapons as far as wide receivers. They've got that young rookie who's been catching Pearsall, who's been catching some balls now. He's back from that being shot in the chest in downtown San Francisco. By the way, San Francisco 49er fans, the mayor of San Francisco, I live here now in Las Vegas, but I grew up my whole life in San Francisco up until about 21 when I moved away. The mayor got recalled, or the mayor lost the election, the current mayor, just goes to show how much people in San Francisco have been fed up with the deterioration of the city, that Mayor London Breed has been voted out, which is pretty wild. Now that I live here in Nevada, I'm finding out that the senator here voted out. Everybody's getting voted out. It seems like everywhere that's a poorly run Democratic city or whatnot, everyone's just choosing to go the other direction. So 49ers got a lot of depth at wide receiver. They did not make that play for Tyreek Hill at the last minute. Let me know, did your team make a play for a good player? There have been some good moves. Obviously, Devontae Adams going to the Jets. We'll get to the Jets game. We did not add some major defensive weapons either. We're basically, the 49ers are going to be relying on the strength of their current stars, some of them coming back from being on the injury reserve. Big weapons coming back to the Niners. Christian McCaffrey makes his return this weekend. We're going to get to that game in just a minute, but New England Patriots and the Chicago Bears. I mentioned this game between those two quarterbacks, Caleb Williams and May. And Paul says Patriots. Now, the Chicago Bears are starting to have their season unravel. They were doing quite all right at the beginning. They are favored by 6 points. Chicago Bears. Let's quickly look at where they stand in the rankings. Bears are now 4-4, which is 500 ball, which is where the 49ers are. But like I said, they've lost 2 in a row. Their season is starting to unravel. And New England Patriots, wow. I mean, what do you want to say about them? They're dead last, 2-7. Paul says the Patriots. This is one of those things where the Bears are starting to unravel, and they could walk away. Patriots could walk away winning this one. Patriots are not favored. Man, I might have to go with the Patriots. And Chicago Bears dropping 3 in a row. I like that, Paul. I think we're going to have to go to that one. All right, while I wait for Drew to come back, I'll move on to the final game Sunday morning, which is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers just playing on Monday, and the Buccaneers aren't playing bad football at all. They're not at all. And while Drew is still, I'm still waiting for Drew, guys. Charvarius Ward, cornerback for San Francisco 49ers last week. I want you guys to keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers because he lost his daughter. He lost his baby girl this past week. And my suspicion is that the entire Locker team is going to rally around Charvarius, and this devastating loss for Charvarius and the entire organization to have a young player like this lose their baby girl. I absolutely think that, they're just going to play 110% and dedicate this win to Charvarius and his late daughter. It's a very sad and tragic story for anyone. Charvarius Ward losing his baby girl. I think the 49ers are going to level up this weekend, Drew. Juwan Jennings, it looks like their wide receiver, number one wide receiver right now. Ayuk is out. So Juwan Jennings, who has been contributing and making some big plays, it looks like he'll be back at the number one wide receiver spot. But even more important than that, Christian McCaffrey is back for week 10 of the NFL. The former MVP, biggest offensive weapon the 49ers have, is back. And Drew, they're playing the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers playing this Monday on short rest. A whole day less rest. 49ers are favored by just about everybody in the sports pundits world by just 6 points. That is the spread. They have to win by a touchdown, Drew. This one looks like it's going to be a very close game. Buccaneers have some momentum. And I think that their quarterback has been playing quite fine. Baker Mayfield, he's had 200-yard games. He's had quite a few 200-yard plus games recently. Passer rating is doing quite well. I think they're going to put up a great fight. This is going to be one of the best games on Sunday morning of all the games here that I'm looking at. That and the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Commanders. 49ers 4-4. Unbelievable. They are third place to the Cardinals. How quickly things have moved in the NFC West. NFC West, a very kind of weak division. Rams on a 3-game winning streak have surpassed the 49ers. They're at 4-4. Somehow they're ahead of the 49ers based on what points allowed, maybe. No, Niners have lower points allowed.
I think Arizona is at 5-4 in that division.
Cardinals with an exceptional game last week, and they're sitting on top of the division. And just 2 weeks ago, the Seahawks were first place. Now the Seahawks 4-5 on a 2-game losing streak. 49ers have that one win, a big win over Dallas. The Rams have a 3-game winning streak, and they are in second place because they have beat the 49ers. That's the main thing here. This is a division where it's still, in my opinion, up for grabs, but looking at the schedule, Drew, I think the Cardinals, when we get to this game, I think the Cardinals are going to walk away winners again this Sunday, putting them at 6-4 and the 49ers at 5-4 still. It looks like even maybe the Rams that are playing red hot could win this game. The only people I think losing this week are going to be the Seahawks in the NFC West. So I go to you, Drew. 49ers favored by 6 points. Do they cover the spread?
I look at it, in Arizona, I think in that division right now, are the most healthy team in that division. I'm going to have to go with Arizona. They're winning games and everything. So I'm going Arizona on this.
Oh, okay. No, but we're not playing Arizona. That's Jets versus Arizona. I'm still on the Niners versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm probably going to pick the Buck. I'm probably going to pick San Fran in this.
Well, dude, I appreciate that. It's going to be a close game. Both of us, Drew and I, if you put money down like you did, if you guys didn't know, Drew hit at least $300 the other day on a parlay. Let's hope, man. If you put money down on that parlay, the Niners walk away winning this game by a touchdown. That is the last game at 10 a.m. Brings us to Sunday's 1 o'clock games. We got Tennessee Titans versus the red-hot Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert is playing fantastic. LA Chargers have the best defense in the NFL under, of course, former 49ers Jim Harbaugh. Unbelievable how well they're starting to mesh now, finally, with Herbert and whatnot. They're favored by 7.5 points. Tennessee Titans looked awful last week. What are you thinking?
Justin Herbert, what is it? The Chargers and the Titans. Titans got, if you look at the Titans record, you'll look at it as in they don't have really anything going for them and everything. But Titans have the number one overall defense in the NFL. They give up 260 yards a game, the Titans. And they're 2-6. Wait, 1-6 or 2, or the 1-7 or 2-6? One of those two. But how is a team that is number one in defense 2-6? The offense is costing them games. This is going to be one of those defensive battles that you don't expect. But I still think the Chargers win this game.
Well, yeah, I just mentioned Herbert's got 300 yards passing in the last week's game, and I unfairly said that the Titans looked like shit last week. They did win their game, Drew. The Titans are 2-6, but Justin Herbert, I just feel like, they've got a great defense with the Chargers as well. These two teams are going to hold each other to lower points, but Justin Herbert's going to obviously outscore them, the Titans. They can't get their offense going. It should be a very interesting game. Tough defense on both of these, Drew. I'm going to pick the Chargers to cover the spread, though, on this one. This one's going to be really low scoring, in my opinion. And if you were interested in making that over-under on this game, Drew, it's the lowest game of the week. Just over for 39 points, under 39 points. And that probably is, in reference to what you said, is how good the Titans defense is and how good Chargers defense is, that they're not going to score a lot. Yeah.
This is a battle of two of the top 5 defenses. And I believe that I believe this is 1 and 2 in total defense. And number 3 is the Eagles, by the way. My Eagles are number 3 in total defense and everything. But this is a battle between 1 and 2 in total defense. One of them is 5-3, I believe, which is the Chargers. One is 2-6 in the Titans. I really think that the Chargers going to win this because they have a way better offense than the Titans.
Absolutely. Hey, this brings us to your game at 1:25 p.m. Philadelphia Eagles versus the Cowboys. I will not disparage them, call them the Cowgirls. And like I said, who could forget this play last week? Saquon Barkley leaping over, just basically kind of like shitting on the Jaguars season, literally. You know what I'm saying? Cowboys don't have their quarterback. It looks like they're going to be looking at a rebuilding year. I think it's pretty safe to say that the Eagles are going to cover the 7-point spread, and they've got this game really low scoring. Drew, you talked about your defense. You guys are both in offense and defense in the top 10. Can the Cowboys put up points with their backup quarterback enough to go over 43 points? Or would you comfortably say Eagles are going to hold them below that? And would you even think about wagering under 43?
I won't wager under 43. I'll be honest. I think the Eagles are going to score. I think potentially the Eagles may drop 40 on this team.
And it's great you say that, Drew, because thinking about it, Dallas Cowboys were not able to hold the run offense of the San Francisco 49ers, and you guys have a lot of weapons, a lot of speed on your team as well. with your big star Saquon Barkley. You got a lot of team where I think you guys are going to rack up some yardage.
Well, you got to look at it like this. The Dallas Cowboys, let's talk about the defense. They give up the second most points per game this year. Per game this year. They give up 28 points a game this year on defense. They are the worst defense against the run. They are in the 20s against the pass. They're the 27th overall defense in the league. Now, in offense, they're dead last running the football. They only average 75 yards a game on the ground. The Eagles are number 6 against the run, and they're number 5 against the pass. Now now I look at the way that it's going. Eagles may be the number 1 ranked defense next week, because I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are going to run over 100 yards. Because look at it like this: during this 4-game winning streak, no team has gotten 300 yards total offense against the Eagles defense. No team has scored over 14 points. No team's offense has scored over 17 points against this Eagles defense. They're averaging, giving up, but, I look at it like this. If I look at it as in this, the Eagles defense is going to give Dallas Cowboys offensive line fits. And the defense scheme is so changed. Fangio's scheme is evolved now with more blitzing in it to suit his players that he has on it. And the main thing about this defense, I look at it like this. Their defense is very, very, very young. The Eagles' defense is very young. You have your veterans on it, but it's mostly they're the 4th youngest team in the NFL. Believe it or not. But I look at it like this. I don't think the Cowboys are going to score no more than 14 points in this game. I think I see this as a blowout waiting to happen. I saw this with Dak playing as a blowout.
I'm going to probably agree with you on that, Drew. Now, listen, looking at the NFC East standings, it looks like you definitely need your other – shout out to Pennsylvania. You need your brothers over in Pittsburgh to get the job done and beat the Commanders. You guys are just a game behind the Commanders. You guys win, you'll be 7-2, and the Commanders will fall to 7-3. And you guys are playing the Commanders on your schedule within the next, 2 games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the chance for the Eagles to get ahead of this Daniels kid and the Commanders. You really need to win this game, which I don't think you guys are going to have any problem with. I'm going to go with you guys covering the spread easily. Commanders, that game against Pittsburgh really is going to mean a lot for you guys this week, as is the next game that I'm going to bring up here, because the next game is really important. Shout out to Derek Ware. We've done a little podcast with him in football. He can come back to the show anytime, him and Finney the Legend. If y'all watch the show on replay, if you're not, you should be. You should be ready to join Tailgate Talk. Come back to the show, fellas. I'm talking Arizona Cardinals have jumped in first place. They beat the 49ers early in the season, a game that we let get away. We let them come back in the fourth. We just stopped playing football. And Cardinals have had a really good run. I really like the quarterback. He's quite explosive. He can run the ball. He can make plays happen. Cardinals sitting on top of the NFC West. NFC West. Amazing. Shout out to Arizona. Oh, Mom Food is still here. Shout out to your Cardinals. Yeah. They are in first place. Let's talk about their game, Drew. This is at 1 o'clock for the NFC West to maintain first place. Now, I really need them, unfortunately, to lose. I need them to lose against Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, who was playing for the Raiders right here in Las Vegas. They don't look so bad. In fact, to the point where the Jets are favored to beat the Cardinals this weekend by a point. 1 point. You think Devontae and Aaron Rodgers are starting to mesh? Or, I mean, is Aaron Rodgers just what it is? He's a 40-year-old has-been. And no disrespect. I like Aaron Rodgers a lot.
I think Arizona wins this game.
All right.
Yeah.
Imoni Bentley, shout out to you in the chat. He says, go Birds. He says, go Birds. In first place to the Bird Gang. I just found out that they got the Bird Gang. They're not favored to win this game, but yeah, Drew, if you want to bet on them, Arizona Cardinals, that pays all right. The over on this game is 46. The under is 46, and that is at 1:25 p.m. While your team is playing, I like the Cardinals' momentum, and I hate to say it, but the 49ers, I think 49ers are going to have a very difficult game. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals are not going to have that hard of a time with the Jets. And both of these teams walk away with the win. All right, did I get all the Sunday games? We got one left, and this one is a banger. Sunday night, 5:20 p.m., Detroit Lions. A lot of people in the power rankings now have the Detroit Lions as the best team in football. If you look at how well the Chiefs have played for their 8-0 record, the Detroit Lions are the better team. But, you know, most of the rankings still have Chiefs at number one. Detroit Lions seem to be a complete package. And I'm quite honestly afraid in week 17 what state the 49ers are going to be in. Last year, that game meant a lot. Detroit Lions versus the San Francisco 49ers. The Lions seem to have it all going on, Drew. And Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud have just had some really bad games lately. They are not favored to win. Detroit Lions favored by 3.5 points. Can C.J. Stroud rally back, come back, and play a dominant team like the Lions? Or are they going to fall back?
No, I think the Lions win this game. I don't think, but I look at it like this. I'm looking at the playoff races. I'm looking at the positions of each division. And I think two wild cards are going to be NFC North teams. So I look at it like this.
It's a hot division. Great teams, right? Lions, yeah. Vikings, number 2. Packers, 6-3.
Yeah, I look at it like this. The only way certain teams are going to make the playoffs if they win their division. Like the Niners, I think the only way they'll make the playoffs if they win the NFC West. I think that I think the Bucs and the Falcons, only way they're going to make the playoffs if they win the South. Now, Philly and Washington is a different story than anything. That third wild card is probably going to be Washington or Philly. Whoever doesn't win the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago is the odd person out because Chicago, is like they're not ready yet, in my opinion. Caleb Williams is not ready. Far from it. And everything. Not even mature enough to be ready. So you look at it, it's the building blocks are there for the playoff race. If you're the Niners, you got to win the division to make the playoffs. You don't win the division, your chances of making the playoffs go from practically 50% to possibly 5% if you don't win the division. It's just like right now, if you look at it, it's really a difficult road.
Yeah, right Drew, this is going to be a great game. This is a game between two conference leaders. The Texans still 6-3. Even though C.J. Stroud did get sacked quite a bit, they're only on a 1-game losing streak. They're 4-0 at home. Where is this game? I don't know.
Houston, but here's the thing. They don't have the best wide receiver. Both of the wide receivers are out. Stephon Diggs is out for a year. Nico Collins is still nursing an injury. He has no weapons, CJ Stroud, at this point. So the defense is average. I just don't like what. And the Lions they're good defense. So we'll see how it is. Like the only weapon is Joe Mixon, the running back on the Texans. So I'm going with the Lions on this.
Let me just quickly check. Yep. Lions are favored by 3.5 points. I agree with you on that, Drew. I will take the Lions too on the spread. That's going to be the last game, and it's going to be a great game at 5:20 p.m. on the West Coast, 8:20 p.m. Eastern time. Again, both of these teams sitting at the top of their conferences, which reminds me of the game earlier that we talked about with the Washington Commanders. That's going to be a good game because also Pittsburgh Steelers sit at the top of their division. So that brings us to Monday night football. Miami Dolphins, Tua's back. They have not been playing. I mean, there's really not much to talk about them. All of a sudden, the LA Rams are kind of, coming back to life. Drew, they've got some of their weapons are coming back. The 49ers were even talking about potentially picking up one of their wide receivers, but that didn't happen. So they've got their weapons. They're starting to play much, much better. Rams are 4-4. Their season is very much alive. They could also come away winning this game being 5-4. The NFC West is crazy. We could have the 49ers next Monday, 5-4, and as well as this Monday game, we could have the Rams, Drew. The Rams are favored by 1 point, and Dolphins have looked so poorly. It's hard for me not to think that next week we're going to have the Rams and the 49ers tied at 5-4.
Yeah, I'll probably pick the Rams this week. Like, I don't know. Like, I probably would pick the Rams.
It's going to be wild. Somebody's got to lose, Drew. It's got to be the Cardinals or the Rams. Somebody's got to lose. Otherwise, this division is going to look crazy. We could have a 3-way tie, I think.
But I'll be honest. I don't think the Cardinals are going to lose this week.
Yeah. If the Cardinals lose, they drop to 5-5. The Rams would move to 5-4, and the 49ers would move to 5-4. It's pretty crazy.
But they win. They're 6-4.
Who is?
No, game and a half up. If you guys win, if they don't win, you're 2 games up on you.
Yeah. NFC West is a wild division. May the best teams win this Sunday. It's going to be really fun, man. That's been a great show, Drew. I appreciate it. I want to thank Mom Food Plan and Things for being the very first super sticker here. Paul M. also dropping and sharing some love. We appreciate you guys being an important part of our YouTube journey. We've been with us for years now. I appreciate all the love and support. Let us know in the comment section if you caught this show on the replay. Let us know who your team predictions are for this week. You got any final thoughts on this week in football, Drew?
No.
Well, like I said, man, shout out to Saquon. Shout out to everybody in the NFL making these amazing plays, like jumping over people and making incredible Hail Marys. I love it. And again, guys, if you guys don't mind keeping in your thoughts and prayers, one of our 49ers lost his daughter this past week. Charvarius Ward, cornerback, sadly and tragically lost his baby girl. So I think the 49ers have a lot of motivation. Christian McCaffrey is back. Juwan Jennings is back. Let's play some good football, Drew. Also, if you love boxing, don't forget Friday night, ESPN. ESPN has a Friday night card. It looks like it's going to be a very good one. The main event. Who's in the main event again? It's the Argentinian guy, Ward, versus... Why do I always forget his name? On ESPN. Anyways, there's boxing Friday and Saturday. Sontel Media was here earlier. He goes, yeah, man, don't forget. Your boy Boots Ennis and Bam Rodriguez in the city of Philadelphia. That's boxing this weekend on Saturday on DAZN Networks. Paul M says, what about that Tyson fight? Paul, tune in Monday night because we will be covering this fight. I just heard some crazy shit, Drew. For those of you that have Netflix, I hope you're having a party and a get together. Make sure you guys get some really good food for that Netflix fight because almost everyone in the U.S. has Netflix. It's only $6. What I heard today was crazy, Drew. They said that at the last minute, sales are so bad at that Texas stadium. It's the home of the Dallas Cowboys. They need to sell a lot of seats that they almost considered making this a bare knuckle fight at the last minute. Crazy, right? They almost considered making it a bare knuckle fight just to get people to buy seats. Jake Paul, obviously not the ticket seller he thinks he is, Drew. Yeah, he's going to make $40 million off this fight, but Dallas Cowboys is a big, big place to sell out. That's all I got for you guys. I'm Dave in the 702 Philly Irish Drew Evo. Until next Monday, we'll see you then. I got some new content coming up on this channel. If you like Vegas reviews, Vegas content, there'll be some more additional stuff on my channel this week. Until next time, peace out, everybody.